Robyn, good morning. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you so much, Paul. I appreciate it.
Massachusetts Credians, through the association, have had a long history, proud history, working with the Massachusetts Coalition for the Homeless. Just like to, if you could tell us about the coalition, what's happening now, what are some of your important initiatives, what you see going into this fundraising year.
Sure. Well, first of all, I want to thank all the credit unions for this rich history over the years and their willingness to help out people at their hardest time in their life, those that are at risk of homelessness, and so it's been a great history. The coalition works on a three-prong approach. We're a statewide organization, so we work from the Cape all the way up to Holyoke, from Lawrence all the way down. So we really represent all those that are either at risk of homelessness or living in poverty. And we work on a systemic change basis up at the State House, crafting legislation, making sure there's money within the budget to help people who are at risk, preventing themselves from becoming homeless and losing their housing. We also help people in a direct service way, and so we have a furniture bank that really works within the 495 belt, but we also have the Bed for Every Child that is statewide, helping children who are growing up in poverty to receive a bed of their own, as well as we operate a lot of other direct service programs that are within community health centers as well as in public schools to really prevent kids and their parents from becoming homeless.
That's great. So Credians, I mean, over the years raised $1.5 million for the coalition, a terrific fundraising achievement. Not all our Credians work with the coalition at this point. What would a Credian who wants to get involved with the coalition, what are some of the things that they can do to support the coalition and get engaged in this cause?
Well, I think it's really important for them to know that we're in their community. We may not be housed in their community, but we are in their community working with those that are most affected with the loss of their housing or loss of employment. So for those credit unions that want to get involved, there's many ways. There's the blanket drive, there's the book drive. There's obviously a financial contribution that can go to the Bed for Every Child or support our public policy work. In this past year, we just were working on teen homelessness, which most of us don't think about a 16-year-old to a 21-year-old becoming homeless, but it's a growing population. Right. And those people are in their communities. So we are working with their community members that are at the most difficult times in their life.
So you just had legislation signed into law by the governor. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, we're very excited that one of the passings, as just before he left office, was to sign our youth homelessness bill, which really does make a catalyst for allowing us to have an ongoing discussion with all administrations on the ongoing problem of teen homelessness. But more importantly, we're really going to work this year to get money in the state budget so that we can get housing and case management for kids who want to stay in high school and graduate. And that is how we break the cycle of homelessness and the cycle of poverty. Right. So the coalition is dedicated to that.
I know Credians, when they support causes, they love to support causes in their local community. So if a Credian works with the coalition, is there a way that it goes back to the area where they serve?
Absolutely, because we are a statewide public policy organization. When we craft a legislation such as the youth bill, it is really working with youth in the lowest communities, but also in communities when you wouldn't expect it. So absolutely, their support works to help those individuals, families, and youth within their communities.
Right. And can you tell us a little bit about just overall what the homelessness issue is in the state of Massachusetts?
Well, you know, Paul, it's really difficult. Even though the economy is chugging back, we still have the lowest income people living in poverty. And one of the statistics that really bothers me is it's 1 in 7 children in Massachusetts that are growing up in poverty. That's staggering to me. And so tonight in the family shelter, we have over 1,500 families that are in motels, and we have over another 1,500 that are in state-funded shelter. That's just families. And then in the cities, there's thousands of individuals, sadly, that are become homeless. And we really need to recognize that these are our neighbors. There could be someone with a disability, someone who's raising a child with a disability, someone who recently lost their job. The old saying of one paycheck away is very true right now for some people. So it's everywhere.
I mean, one of our beliefs in Credians is financial literacy, making sure people are sound financially. But as you say, one financial challenge or disaster could put them down the road to homelessness. So
there's no question that financial literacy is really important. But when you're on the verge of poverty, it's really hard to balance those numbers. And right now, with the skyrocketing rents, that's really what we're seeing, so many people becoming homeless. So if you're living on a fixed income, which many of our elders are, or people on disabilities, they can't reach to pay those $800 to $1,200 rents that are really out there right now. So it's very difficult.
Yeah, so I think the issue of Credians helping people financially ties in great with this cause, and that's why we're a big supporter. So we appreciate it. We'll look forward to work with you further. Thank you for being here. I do want to show you one thing, though, before you leave. So if you could just join me for a second.
That would be fantastic, Paul. Thank you.
So Robyn, I was driving to work this morning, and my temperature gauge for outside read 15 degrees. And I know over the last week we've had this winter vortex, and the cold temperatures have just been unbelievable. One of the important things you guys do is a blanket drive each year. It sounds like such a basic thing, a blanket, which the association here, we're happy to support you in conjunction with our credit unions, and we're raising them right now. But a blanket sounds so simple, but tell us how important this is for your cause.
Well, it's huge because you're absolutely right. During these cold months, even for a child that has a bed but doesn't have a blanket, for someone who is, again, struggling to keep their home warm, that's where these blankets really head through. Sure. Oftentimes through the public schools, because nurses and teachers know when a kid doesn't have what they require. And so that's how we do a lot of the dissemination through public health communities and areas like that. So we're so grateful that people will take the time to go and purchase a new blanket, and we can assure them that it will get to someone who's in need.
That's great. Well, we'll continue to support you on this.
Thank you.
I think it's an important initiative for us, and credit unions everywhere are going to work together on this blanket drive.
That's fantastic.
So thank you again. Appreciate you being here.
Great. Thanks.